This is a short explanation on how we incorporate statistical analysis into our project. Our project is titled as Traffic Speed Analysis at Jalan Kuang. The main issue into prompting us to execute this project is driver overspeeding past the speed limit or whilst putting the safety of other road users at major risk.
This is a report taken from an accident that happened in Jalan Kuang.
The thorough solution into analyzing our hypothesis will be divided into three parts: collection, presentation, and analysis. Our data collection is through utilizing the speedometer app from our phones for sample size of 100 vehicles on 2 different days respectively.
This shows the exact location of where we collected our data from.
The raw data collected is then presented through ungrouped and grouped data, graphs to figure out the type of distribution, and box and whisker plot to determine the possibility of outliers.
Here you can see how we generate the histogram and frequency distribution curve using the Desmos website. By copy and pasting the data from Excel, we managed to accurately obtain the graph for this data. Again, by using Desmos, we obtain the box and whiskers plot and figure out which are the outliers.
We analyze the data through several solutions: descriptive statistics to determine the measure of central tendency, as well as to figure out the measure of dispersion and variation of data. Nominal data analysis works the same way as descriptive statistics but through data classification. Z-test for 2 independent samples is hypothesis testing for our initial assumption of data, and F-test is another form of hypothesis testing to determine whether the variance for both data samples are equal or not.
These are the formulas that we used to determine the measure of central tendency as well as the measure of dispersion and variation for the data. For Z-test, H null states that the mean vehicle speed during weekday is less than that of during the weekend, whereas H alternative states that the mean vehicle speed during the weekday is greater than that of the weekend. Then we would state that the level of significance alpha is equal to 0.05. After finding the Z calculated using the equation and the Z critical from the Z table, we would formulate a decision rule where if the Z calculated is greater than the Z critical, it falls on the rejection region of the graph. Thus, the null hypothesis is rejected and we accept the alternative hypothesis HA. In F-test, H null states that both the variances of the weekday and weekend is the same. However, H alternative states that both the variances are not. Here you can see we used Excel to determine the variance for both days. Then input the alpha that has been determined, which in this case is 0.05. The results will be shown and the graph for F distributed will be generated using Desmos again. Then make a conclusion for the result. If the F calculated, which is from the formula, is less than F critical and did not fall in the rejection region, the null hypothesis is then accepted.
That's all. Thank you.